fast, fatal thought impact. Past painful thoughts, in fact, I blast tasteful thoughts and past. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Cube Show here, and now, whenever we last left off, with this series, quite a lot of things were going on. Now, in the last part, Deku and Iki, they were talking about something. And Deku, he did even reveal to certain people that Iki was pregnant. Now, this is something that Deku, he's being very careful with. And a lot of people who heard about this news, they were very taken aback by it. And Deku, he trusted the captains of the human ships to make a decision for him. He is not very good at diplomacy. However, these people, they must be better. So, he asked them to try and find out exactly what type of request they can make of the Yajja clan Yajja was the leader of. Now, with that being said, Deku, he is at least trying to get back into the swing of things. He's trying to go back into the way his normal life was. At least, how normal you can consider it to be. He started trying to be a teacher. He started trying to teach people exactly what to do. He tried going back into his normal routines, but everybody, they started to seem a bit strange, or at least taken aback by him. They know it's Deku, but it's just that he doesn't look the same. He's not really the same, and his entire demeanor, his attitude, his stature, it's all changed. They think he's almost a different person. Well, some people, they are taken aback by that. They do still recognize him as Scar. And that's something that Deku, he can understand. And a lot of people, this is something that they're not exactly too sure how to deal with. And we do at least have about a month later. Deku, he's at least started to adjust to how things are. And so have many other people. And you do actually have today where a large ship is overhead of the planet. And Deku, he does look up and see the thing in the higher atmosphere. The thing looks small from where they're at. However, he knows it's the distance. And he doesn't exactly know how large that thing must be. The ship is something that he's heard about. It's probably the size of a continent, but he doesn't know which one. And that's something that he is curious about, as he does go to a small ship and fly up into the atmosphere to greet the new visitors. Now, whenever Deku does board this ship, many people, they do see him. They greet him, and they do somewhat stare at him. And we do actually have where Deku, whenever he does make his way to an area, he does make an announcement to the Yajja. Since they have been invited to the human planet. Many Yajja here, they don't know what to even really say. They don't really even know what to do. They were given an invitation and they took it. This was the man who killed their leader. So, right now, they have to listen to him. He can make a request. And right now, a lot of people, they do think that if they play along this request, it will be more easily given to them. And there are some who actually are a lot more on edge. And Deku, he does at least go to start talking to many people. Him expressing to a lot of them to join his people on Prometheus. A lot of people, they do hear about this, and they do find it to be kind of strange. However, Deku, he does express to them that the humans here on this planet, they have powers. They export blood and their own DNA directly to Yajja Prime to be used to clone xenomorphs and create specialized ones that have unique abilities. Many Yajja, they have heard of this. This is something that seems to be very special, and they knew it was from somewhere. Well, there was theories and at least small rumors floating around that the humans were involved in it in some way. A direct exportation was not something they expected. And Deku does continue. He expresses to many of them that he wishes to show them what human culture is like. He wishes to show them a lot of what humans do, a lot of the way they do act in their daily lives, and even how this place is. And that actually is what comes to his request. His request is very, very simple. Yet, he does understand if many of them, they would actually be very skeptical at first. However, he does at least request that they all do take this as at least a trial run. And if any of the Yautja they do not understand what that does mean, it means that they can try out this style of life, and if they do not like it, then he wishes to leave it up to them. They can break away into separate clans, and he will allow a Yautja to take the place of the leader as long as they are an elite who does not disagree. And a lot of Yajja, they are taken aback by this. What they're hearing, this request is possible. In theory, to them, it shouldn't be, but to Deku, he's already authorized this. He's already at least confirmed if it was or not. And while the Yauja, they were a bit up in arms about this idea, it wasn't illegal. It wasn't really requested before, or there wasn't even a law made against it. And that was what was confusing to them. It's basically Deku saying if the Yautja they do want to be here, they can be. If the Yautja don't, they can still at least remain to their ideals and not turn bad blood. And to Deku, that actually is an advantage. If the Yautja who do leave know Deku didn't want them to turn into bad bloods, there is a chance that they could come back. Deku shows them a form of mercy. And in that mercy comes curiosity, comes the thoughts that string together as to why Deku did this. And with mercy would come the curiosity. That's something that Deku he doesn't understand. They would get curious and come back. He knows that it is a slim chance. However, he is well aware of it. We do actually have down on the human planet, where a lot of things have been expanded, a lot of things have been created, and a lot more people, they actually are a bit freer in their daily activities. As more of the Yautja ship, it does start to land down on the planet, it does start to drop off people. And a lot of Yautja, they are kind of confused. They've heard about this place before, but from what they're seeing, it seems different. And there actually is one for certain Yautja that do start to make their way through the city. And they even do start to see the warriors. They're walking around in broad daylight. Some of them have equipment, some of them don't. You can tell by certain symbols they carry on their faces and bodies that they're warriors. And some don't have equipment. It just doesn't make sense to them. These warriors, they breathe the oxygen in the air. They feel the cement and dirt below their feet, and they deal with these strange bugs in the air. They have homes on the planet. Now, certain Yautja, well, they have been on planets before. There is the idea of settling down here, making a place and calling it a home. Some have had this idea before, and it was curious to them. They have been to Yajja Prime, and they've experienced life there. Some wanted to stay, some have. Some have become independent and left the clan to stay there. Some have never returned. And then there's this. What Deku has given them, it's an opportunity. Some Yajja are immediately drawn to this idea, and things are starting to be prepared for them. However, there are millions, or not millions, thousands of other Yajja who are still on the fence about this. And that is where things do start to get a bit more murky. Deku wanted to show them human traditions, and even at least throw a bit of a festival to celebrate the Yajja coming here. Well, this was something that the Yajja they were kind of intrigued by. They weren't really somewhat keen on it. While there were some who did participate, there were some who stayed on the ship. They were grounded to their ideals to stay with the clan they were born with, not to set foot off of the ship other than to hunt, kill, and hunt bad bloods. Their ideals were absolute. However, that was also the thing. These Yajja, they were seen as somewhat more isolated. However, you do actually have, as the days start to draw on, there were Yajja who stayed on the planet for either a few hours and they did come back, talking about certain strange experiences they went through. There were some who came back after days, and they talked about a bit more. And there were some who even came back after a few weeks. And as the Yajja started to come back, there were the stories that were just piling on, more and more and more. The strange things that humans do eat, the strange things that humans do to pass time, besides hunting. And there is even the way that humans do hunt. It sounds strange, but the humans, they have a sort of pack mentality. Some of them hunt in isolated groups. Some of them they hunt solo, like a yautja. Some of them they even group together and hunt not as a form of training or practice, but to gather the food. It seems so weird. There are even ways to hunt that aren't in line with the yautja honor code. They use weapons. They don't go for the prey with blades, they go for the prey with guns. And the yautja, they do find this to be kind of strange. The more certain yautja were isolated, the more they do hear about this. They latch onto certain things that do seem so strange, they're curious. And they're sort of pulled in. As you do actually have where you do have Tia Zicha or Ti Zicha. Now, Zicha, she actually does go to Prometheus. Whenever she heard that Vadacha's clan was on the move, she did make her way to this planet, especially because of something that was very unexpected. She received an invitation to it. And you do actually have Deku. Deku and Aki, they were going through a few things. They were trying to sort some stuff out, and you did actually have where the ship did arrive. At first, the Yajja on the planet, they were caught off guard. They thought that a bad blood ship was in the higher atmosphere and getting ready to attack the planet. They were all just very caught off guard. They thought that they'd gone soft in the time they've been here. However, whenever a ship did come down and land, many Yajja, they threw themselves down to their knees, and so did many humans. The people who didn't do so, they were just regular civilians. They were people who just go about their day, do a job, go home, get drunk, do whatever. They do things their own way. They don't follow the honor code and they just try to deal with the way life is. They were so confused. And whenever Chicha, she was walking around the area, she was looking for Deku and Aki. She's well aware as to what Deku's gone through. She knows about his strange mutation or abomination abilities. However, you do actually have where she's worried about her daughter. And this isn't some motherly worry. She's worried about her daughter because she's the one who sent out the invitation. She's well aware as to the distance between the two. However, if Aki felt like it was right to send this invitation directly to her without saying another word, something is going on. And that was what worried her. She knows that the distance between her daughter and her is very large. She understands that she has been pushy. She understands that things haven't exactly been normal between the two, even by Yautja standards. Aki is the product of two people who, by all accounts, they are seen as legends. However, she was never seen as such. She was seen as the bottom of the barrel, the scrapes that you have left when there is nothing. However, now, she is a clan leader. She is a predator. And she does take pride in that. Her spawn became something powerful on her own. She understands what Jacha saw in his daughter. and she knows exactly why Aki was seen as special. However, you do actually have one of she does walk into a room where Deku and Aki they are both sitting down. And whenever Zucha, or not Zucha, yeah, Zucha, my bad. I thought I said Vedanta for a minute. Zucha, she does actually see Aki. She does stare at her daughter for a minute. As whenever she does actually have Aki turn and stare at her mother, Aki she doesn't say a word. Zucha just walking over and sitting down. As she does turn to see Deku, before going to turn to her daughter. Whenever this does happen, you do have where a bunch of people who were in the room, they did start to clear out. Some people here were hunters, and they knew who that woman was. They knew sitting down with those two must mean something important. They started to clear out of this place. You do actually also have the civilians. Whenever the people who literally go out and hunt large creatures with daggers and knives or to leave a room whenever someone walked in, they didn't feel safe, so they left too. And we do actually have where Jacha does ask exactly why these two invited her here. It's been a while. It has. Scar, exactly why am I here? I understand that you may have used my daughter to send me the invitation, but why is that? Hmm? Mother, what is it, daughter? Your theories, the things we discussed. I have news to tell you. What is this news? I, well, I. You carry a spawn, don't you? Yes. How long? Almost 3 months. Ah. Well, the armor you're wearing was to be expected. You would have been showing by now, wouldn't you? Yes, Mother. Interesting. I was wondering about that giant plate. You don't wear abdominal armor. You also don't wear chest pieces the same way as normal Yajja do. You don't wear the heavy ones, the bulky ones. You've always been agile. I was curious about that. Um, thank you, Mother. So, is it his? Aki's mother staring directly at Deku. And Deku, he doesn't go to ball his hand into a fist. Where was she going to state that? What she was insinuating pissed him off. And Aki should at least go to tell her mother that it is. And she will not speak to Scar that way. He is another clan leader. He is another predator. I see. So, exactly why am I here? Why did you invite me here, daughter? Mother, the reason we invited you here was simple. Juja, I have a question. What is it, human? You've always wanted to spawn for your daughter. You've always wanted your daughter to carry, have you not? I have. However, I wanted my daughter to carry a yautja, not whatever is inside of her. I understand that. What if I told you what she is carrying could possess my powers? Continue, human. Good. I've gotten your interest. Listen, I know you don't fully understand how quirks work. You know my species is capable of very strange and seemingly powerful abilities. Some may seem like, what is the best way to put it? Yautja-like abilities like super strength or ability increases, and other abilities, they seem odd. Telepathy, fire breathing, telekinesis, and even abilities to manipulate such substances as blood, earth, air, water, stuff like that. I understand. Your species has been somewhat strange. They've turned strange. But what is this about? Well, what if I told you that my and Aki's child could possess my powers? My powers are very simple, and I believe exposure to the goo may have increased them. Hmm? Really? Yes. My power is quite simple. If I start to learn something, I can pick it up faster. It may not sound like much, but keep in mind, I was able to learn the Yajja language in a very short time frame. I understood a lot of it. I knew some of it within at least 2, 3 weeks. Whenever I mastered it, I at least did start to speak this way. You can perfectly understand me, and I can understand you, as if it was a language I was naturally born in. Along with that, there are at least the other things. I can adapt to any opponent. I can fight any opponent, and as long as I can draw them out, I can win. As long as I understand what my opponent's doing, as long as I use my own powers correctly and do things a certain way, I can win. As long as I'm able to read my opponent, as long as I'm able to learn my environment, I can adapt to it. Do you understand? I see. It sounds like an interesting power. However, even without it, you would still be an admirable hunter. Aki is staring almost somewhat surprised. Her mother actually just said those words to Scar? No, no, she must be dreaming. She's having another one of those weird dreams. Okay, any moment the strange creature is gonna walk in. A strange thing from her nightmare. It's gonna walk in here and everything's gonna just fall away. Aki just thinking that. And Deku does go to look towards the key, as he does at least go to nod no to her, and Yajja, she's going to notice this, as Akisha is actually going to turn to Deku and going to start talking with him. However, to Yajja, she actually does just stare at these two. They're just looking at each other and either nodding or just doing something else. What exactly are you two doing? Hmm? Oh, right. There's more to what happened to us. This goo exposure stuff. Aki's becoming more like a human. I'm becoming more like a yautja, and that's how this all started. And, well, we sort of, and I am well aware, human. I do not need information on this, especially from you. So, move on. Alright, listen. We believe that whenever the child is born, a lot of people could be after it. A lot of people within Yajja Prime could be after our baby. They could want to study it, want to kill it, want to raise it and see what happens. It's the grandchild of you, Vidacha, the child of a human, the child of a Yajja who, against all odds, all ridicule, they were able to climb to the rank of Predator in seemingly a fast time. I believe that you understand exactly how miraculous this could be. Along with that, you're about exactly aware as to how weird mutations and strange things can be within nature, aren't you? Aren't you? Hmm? Human? I do understand exactly what you are going for. I do know exactly what you are talking about. Do not think I am mistaken, though, however. You are trying to appeal to the fact that I am hundreds of years old. Yes, I have seen creatures change. I have hunted creatures that, throughout their own generations, have changed in ways you would not even begin to understand or imagine. However, what you are still stating, it is something that I do have a stake in. This is one of the only ways my line can continue. I do believe that I do have a reason to stick around, a reason to be intrigued by it, along with the fact that I do have a pull and authority. That is why you called me here. Along with that, that is why you have Yajja's clan running around outside. You want his people to join you. You want my people to join you. You want us to help you. If anything is to happen to this child, as a member of your clan, as a member of Aki's clan, as the birthright of this child, they would have authority between all three, and all three existing on this planet. They would have a personal stake in every three. So, is this exactly why you wish for me to stick around? Because of exactly the fact that if this child is taken and or killed, I have the authority to declare war on anyone who has. So would Vidaj's clan. So would your clan. Well, yours will be wiped out, off the face of this planet, off of the map, off of the galactic star chart. Vidaj's, it would be a lot more troublesome. With mine, it would be very troublesome. However, all three together, there is a chance. There is a chance that we won't just be some boot stain. Is that what you are hoping for, human? Well, when you put it like that, yes, I wouldn't disagree with you. My people, we're still learning things, getting a handle on the stars, still searching for our own people. However, I understand exactly how you do have a feeling about this. You do not condone it, do you? Human, there are many things I do not condone. There are many reasons why I do not view you two as good. I was going to let Vidata handle that. However, I would be, well, very dismissive to say that you don't have my interest, that you do not strike something in me. Fact is, this is new. This is something that has never been seen before. You've already killed the engineers that killed your planet. You have access to their technology, and yet you hid it away. We didn't hide anything. No, you didn't. You just left it in a place nobody else knows about. Almost the same thing. Tell me, what information did you gain from them? What we gained from them, it's not exactly, well, we're still deciphering it. What we do have deciphered so far, it's iffy, if not spotty. But we do at least have plans that they'd had. Plans to see life. Plans to create life on different planets. From what we understand, there wasn't many of them left. And right now, their home planet, we're still trying to find the location of it. We believe that on the ship's logs we could find them. However, we don't want to trip anything, destroy anything, misfire, malfunction, set off weapons. We're trying to learn everything we can about the language, everything about their technology, through studying it, through the computers. Before we go anywhere near those ships. Smart move. I am aware. So, would you be willing to stick around and help us? Human. Your tactics are strange. You do not lie. You do not assume, nor do you think or say you have an advantage. I can see it in you. You seem to be strange. I can see sort of why Aki does have an interest in you. You do not speak to somebody as if you know more. You do not speak to somebody as if you know less. You do not speak to somebody as if they are stupider nor smarter than you. You look them in the eye and you tell them exactly what you wanted to hear. Exactly the way things are. It is very interesting. Not many hunters would have the gall to do that. Not many hunters would have the gall to explain themselves nor talk to me the way you have. In fact, if you weren't a leader, I would say that this would be worthy of death, but even then I would spare you. That is how intriguing this all is. So, me and my people, we will stick around. And daughter, Aki looking towards her mother. As her mother, she'll just go to hold up one thing, pulling it from her belt before going to stab it downwards into the table, and then going to stand up. The large woman she is going to leave. As Aki, she is going to stare directly towards what her mother just stabbed into the table. And it's not right. She's staring down at a weapon she's seen her mother carry her whole life. It's a dagger. A small knife. Aki going to reach out and grab it. All her life she's seen this weapon. However, the moment her fingers do go to make contact with it, you do have where Aki's actually going to pull her hand backwards. Before going to reach out and grab it before pulling it right out. And she has going to look down at the strange weapon. It's so... she's never seen her mother use it before. This blade has stayed clean. If she's right, her mother's only ever drawn this weapon once, and even then she never used it on this side. She's never used this blade to kill. And that's something that does make it sort of special. This being where Deku does get to somewhat turn and ask questions about it. And Aki just tries to answer them the best that she can, expressing to Deku that what this would mean is good. Now, with that being said, I do believe that would be a good point to leave this part off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.